G'day guys and welcome to ReDriven. Now look, we just don't get it with these cars. These are the cars that everybody raves on about and they are in reality bloody average at best. Either they're unreliable or they're below average to drive and own, or they're just not worthy of their hype. What are the most overrated cars on the used car market? Here's our top 5. Okay, look, this one hurts me because I kind of like these. I love the aesthetic, I love what they're all about, but once you remove the image and the quirkiness, they're just a bit average. In 5th place, it's Minis. Not the old school ones, they're great, they're awesome, they're cool. I'm talking about the newer BMW Minis. Pretty bloody average. But which Mini? Well, unfortunately, like all of them. And look, we get it, they're funky and they're cool and there's not much else on the road like them, but that's all novelty and novelty wears off. And what you're left with is a car that really isn't that well made. It's becoming renowned for having some very serious mechanical issues, and excluding any of the really rare performance models, it's going to depreciate like crazy. As far as what goes boom, CVT automatic transmissions fail, timing chains fail, resulting in incredibly expensive engine failures, water pumps fail, many of the engine components are plastic and they tend to fail over time. Then there are radiator support problems, power steering problems, and a whole host of electronic and computer issues. And then there's the depreciation. A 2020 Countryman Cooper S is going to set you back around about $65,000. And you know how much a 2015 version of that car is? It's a little over 25 grand. So it's lost $40,000 of value in just 5 years. And look, that might be okay if it was some incredible groundbreaking car, but it just isn't. In 4th place, it's a car that is despised by motoring journalists around the world, yet people still buy them all the time, and I don't understand why. I don't get it. Please stop buying them. It's the BMW X6, and in particular, the X6M. The X6M is an SUV that is utterly useless at being an SUV. It drinks fuel like it genuinely hates the environment, it depreciates like the Titanic floats, and if it's driven enthusiastically, it's building up quite the reputation for being a mechanical nightmare, which means you should avoid doing the one and only thing the X6M is good at. Unless you're really comfortable with repair bills that end in lots of zeros. And then there are those looks, which, look, yes, they are subjective, but in my opinion, the X6 is genuinely one of the all-time ugly cars. Because it's based on the X5, which is not a sleek design by nature, the sloped roofline on the X6 makes the whole thing just look bulbous and awkward. Plus, that sloping roofline eats into your cargo space and creates the mother of all blind spots. If you do really need a fast BMW SUV, go and buy an X5M. You're still going to have all the same mechanical gremlins and plummeting depreciation, but hey, at least people won't laugh at you. In 3rd place, look, many excuse these things because they're Italian and they have pedigree and heritage. It's just a shame that nothing else about them matches the romance. It's the Maserati Ghibli. On paper, it all sounds great. A rear-wheel drive, leather-lined, Italian-styled sports sedan with a Ferrari-engineered power plant from a luxury brand like Maserati. But in reality, it was just a horrendously thrown-together dog of a car from the Fiat Chrysler Group. While it sourced its engine from Ferrari, the Ghibli sourced, well, pretty much everything else from various Jeeps, Dodges, and Chryslers. And these are companies not exactly renowned for quality or reliability, hence why the Ghibli is truly horrific when it comes to things that go wrong. Then there are the ergonomics. Anyone larger than a toddler will struggle for room in the back seat, and up front, because the Ghibli is basically a concoction of various bits and pieces from other cars, look, nothing feels right, or in many cases, even works as they should. Then there's the fact that even though Ferrari helped with the engine, the Ghibli is not exactly actually all that fast, and it doesn't drive all that well, especially when it's compared to its competition. And finally, because these things are genuinely terrible, the depreciation is just horrific. Back in 2015, a brand new Ghibli with a few options would have cost you around about $150,000 here in Australia. And these days, that same 2015 Ghibli, probably being held together with cable ties and masking tape, will cost you around about 50 grand. So it's lost 2/3 of its value in just 5 years, or to put it another way, around about $415 a week. What a joke. My God, we're going to cop some flack on this one. In 2nd place, nervous to say it, it's the 1964 to 1973 first generation Ford Mustang. But we're talking about the base model inline-six variant, not the V8s. even though the V8s aren't that good either. Sorry, I'm telling you how it is, I'm sorry. Look, there's no denying the Mustang is cool. It does look incredible, and thanks to Steve McQueen and Carroll Shelby, the Mustang has become one of the all-time iconic cars. But, and look, trust us, this does come from experience. Unless they've been modified to a point where it really is hardly even a Mustang anymore, in our opinion, they drive like utter crap, and they just don't live up to all the hype. Firstly, they are slow, like a base model Hyundai i20 would leave it for dust. The ride quality is somehow both harsh and floaty at the same time. The steering is more of a suggestion than a tool to actually turn the car. The build quality is a joke, and it will need constant repair. I've driven a bunch of these old school Mustangs, and after that 15 minutes of romance and novelty wears off, I've just always been left disappointed and feeling totally underwhelmed when driving these things. And it's not like an age of the car thing either, because every time I drive like an old school 911 or an Alfa Romeo of the same vintage as these Mustangs, I'm generally blown away by the experience and trying to work out which internal organ I can sell to buy one. Again guys, look, I'm sorry if you're a fan of the Mustang, but excluding the hardcore modified fire-breathing ones, old school Mustangs are just massively overrated. Before we get to first place, can you please do us a favor and hit all the boxes, the bell icon, and subscribe and like it? Honestly, it really does help us out. And after this video, go and follow us on all the socials. And hey, we'd love to know what makes up your overrated list. Let us know in the comments section below. The sad thing about our winner this week is that the engineering that goes into them to make them incredibly capable does need to be applauded. It's just a shame they have a real habit of falling apart. And even though you could probably steer one of these things up and over Mount Everest while it keeps you all cozy and safe, unfortunately the majority of these are bought as some sort of a status symbol or fashion accessory. In first place, it's Range Rovers. When we were doing our research for this video, we quizzed mechanics and automotive engineers, we went through dozens of consumer satisfaction reports, vehicle reliability reports, and the car that consistently came out worst? Range Rover. But even though people keep buying them, which Range Rover or Range Rovers should you avoid? Well, we'd steer clear of the Evoque, the Range Rover Sport, the Discovery Sport, the Velar, the Discovery, and the range-topping Land Rover Range Rover. Actually, I think that's the entire lineup. Yes, they look stunning and they'll probably be great for your image, and when they work, they're an absolute joy to drive. But the looks will fade, serious things will start going wrong, which will be very bad for your bank account, and you won't get to enjoy driving it because it's going to spend most of its life up on a hoist in some mechanic's workshop. Plus, the depreciation is just insane. For example, a top-of-the-line 2017 Range Rover SV Autobiography here in Australia, when new, started at $400,000. But now in 2021, that same Range Rover is asking maybe $100 grand? That's $300,000 of value gone in just 4 years. Or to put it another way, $1,442 a week, every week for 4 years, gone. That is insane. If you can justify that kind of loss, you are either immensely rich or a complete idiot, or both. Guys, thank you so much for watching. What did you think of the list? What makes up your overrated list? Let us know in the comment section below. Let us know what you think of $300,000 worth of value gone in 4 years. It's insane. Also, remember to hit all those like, subscribe, and bell icon buttons. Go and follow us on all the socials, and we'll see you real soon.